Hi, hello, and welcome to the Daily Tarot Buffet brought to you by Vertex of Abundance. My name is Priestess Abossi. I will be your oracle today, and I was sent to deliberate the findings for the transiting moon into Taurus, Torino. So that will be during Aries season. That's a second house event. So, pardon me, I bumped the camera there. So if you're new, welcome. If you're returning, welcome back. The second house is a values house. It does talk about physical possessions. It's the things that we kind of hold on to, but it's basically the things we collect in life. And if I jump to the end of the story, it's our values. Everything that comes out of the mouth as well. Yes, it's this and that in terms of material possessions, whatever, what have you. It's our values. It also can talk about family systems, especially immediate. But what do we get from our family systems? Our values. So, it being Taurus is interesting. It's only going to happen once a year, and it's during every season, even though every month or so we'll talk about the second house. During Aries season, it's really particular because the second house is native to Taurus. And Taurus is about sustained. So, the earthy energy, Virgo is discerning, it's detail oriented, it gets into the nitty gritty. Capricorn is practical and hardworking, but it talks about leveraging, power moves. Taurus, we call it sensual, but I want to tell you really another way to look at it. It's the embodiment of. So it talks about the experience, and when you have a physical experience, we body and get embodied. So that's what Taurus is doing. It's embodying values. It's embodying material experiences, if that makes sense. Now, the moon, again, remember, is always about intuition, insight. The moon also is exalted in Taurus. So we have a couple few, what we call enhancements. You have a couple few whammies that really just boom, data that energy, really knocks it out. Okay. So we're going to get in here, fit in here, and see what we got going on. I'm going to talk a little bit more about the second house if we can get any kind of ancillary or peripheral energy. So I'm hearing a lot about marriage, union. So it can be that we're thinking about something, we're embodying some kind of energy, it's stepping into the physical, and it could be knocking at the door or even coming towards the gate. Whether or not, with the Four of Cups, whether or not we take this energy in, take this energy on, it's okay. I'm going to name the base energy for this entire counselorship here. So today during the meeting, we meet during Aries season to discuss the transiting moon in Taurus, which is for this month a second house event. I told you it talks about material positions, also values. The baseline energy for this entire reading or meeting, however you look at it, will be Four of Cups, Queen of Swords, Temperance card, Queen of Wands. Again, I repeat, for this entire meeting or reading, however you look at it, for the transiting moon in Taurus during the season of Aries, as we gather here today to discuss, we'll be using, excuse me, the baseline energies of Four of Cups, Queen of Swords, Temperance, and the Queen of Wands. So we have a double queen, which could talk about some kind of conflict unless we see the Empress, Justice, Star, or the Strength. But the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Wands with the Temperance card can talk about Moon in Sagittarius, which is interesting because when you think about the Hierophant card, it either talks about the Sun in the sign of Taurus or Jupiter in Sagittarius. That's what the Temperance card, the Hierophant card represents astrologically. Now, zodiac wise, it does talk about Taurus, but with the Temperance and the Queen, of Wands, we would usually have Moon in Sagittarius or some type of Virgo rising. Okay. There's also some kind of discernment. I feel already that we do need to recognize what's coming towards us, what's being manifested from the inner self. Sometimes it's the subconscious, sometimes it's the intuition, sometimes it's the instincts. There's some subtle body alive in us, maybe for some of us, deep alive in us, that is beckoning, calling forward, knocking at the door, trying to get our attention. It's true, there's a quickening here with this Eight of Wands. There also can be some kind of Mercury in Sagittarius or in the eighth house. We could also have, Mercury in Sagittarius or in the ninth house. We could also have Moon in Sagittarius or in the ninth house. Four of Swords, Six of Pentacles, Knight of Wands. Already we have a double four, so there's some type of suppression, repression, oppression, depression here. Five of Swords, Four of Pentacles, Eight of Cups, Hermit. So there definitely is some suppression, repression, oppression, depression with a triple four. Again, the baseline of this entire reading is Four of Cups, Queen of Swords, Temperance, Queen of Wands. So with the Hermit, as I was saying, we could have a Virgo rising. That's typically true when you have what's called a Sagittarius IC. Imam Kola, it talks about the root of the chart. So when the bottom of the chart is at Sagittarius, the beginning of the chart, also known as the ascendant or rising, would be Virgo. And we have a pair of eights, and we have a triple four and a pair of queens. So when there's a pair of queens, it talks about vying for some kind of spot. It can't even allude to some type of double front, double movement. It can talk about vying for some type of position or objective. It can also talk about just pure kind of unadulterated competition without talking about the parties or the forces that are competing. A double eight would also suggest some type of English manipulation or like spell work. It also, to a lesser degree, can talk about um, some kind of knowledge or wisdom that comes from indulging a lot of time, energy, effort, attention into a space, into a place. So spending a lot of time doing or spending a lot of time around something has brought some kind of wisdom. Now that is confirmed here with the Hermit card. That refers to going deep inside, reflecting inner or inwardly, and ultimately using soul's wisdom to have what's called a discovery. So we might have researched whether into the self or into a situation where we've gone deep into something. The Ten of Swords, Hierophant, Fool, and the Seven of Swords. Okay, so a couple few things here. Now, I was referring to the Hierophant card earlier because, yes, zodiac-wise, this does talk about Taurus, but astrologically, it talks about the Sun in Taurus or Jupiter in Pisces. Now, we have a Queen of Wands with a Temperance card, which talks about some type of moon in Sagittarius. About, to a lesser degree, it can be a Sagittarius IC, opposite of midheaven, IC, which would just basically mean a Virgo rising. We also have the Virgo card out here. With the Hermit. Now we have this Fool card and the Seven of Swords. So that means there's been a trespass of some kind. Also, about a week ago, there was some kind of break out, break free mechanism. Something kind of was over or kind of had to spill forward, be exposed. It might have been just inward, meaning the receipts were out in the open, but no one kind of knew because they didn't know to look for something, or they were just a failure to recognize, or it wasn't quite time. Ten of Swords, though, there was a transgression of some kind of trespass, and then this Ten of Swords would say, okay, it's already, you know, the sentencing is about to happen. So somebody might not know that they're under judgment, is what I'm gathering. Because it's saying a week ago we broke free from something, and in a week or so there'll be some kind of new or some kind of, you know, power that speaks to this. And it's good that we were left alone, Seven of Swords with the Hermit card, because something needed to come forward. Knight of Wands, we need to have some kind of drive, desire, passion, motivation. We may make a pivot of some kind, to be honest. And usually the Two of Pentacles would say a transition or a switch, but the Seven of Swords could literally be march forward, blink left, you know, so just we make a pivot in a direction. We turn on our foot and go a certain kind of way. And I'm getting there is some kind of trespass here. So let's take a look. We have the Page of Wands, Knight of Cups, Two of Swords, Justice, Ten of Cups, Four of Wands. So there is a kind of, all right. And remember I was saying, you know, there's some suppression, repression, oppression, depression. That was the case for a while because now it gets negated with the Four of Wands. So now these other fours are saying, with the double four, that's some type of furthering of a commitment. When there's a triple four, it's saying moving in together. But we have all four of the fours. We have a full set of fours. Four of Pentacles, Four of Cups, Four of Swords, and Four of Wands. So that means marriage. And now we have a union on our hands because the Four of Wands is here. Even if it doesn't seem like it yet, there's a Ten of Cups. So it can be a holy union with the Hierophant. It could talk about going through a spiritual union that will later on equate to some type of physical union. I do feel like a lot is happening here in the spirit. Page of Wands, Knight of Wands. We don't know it yet, but we're going through a sacred union. We're being baptized in the spirit. And I think it might be handled by the spirit because what we don't recognize, I'm just going to say without saying, I'm going to say before I, you know, do a layup with the explanation. The universe, spirit, Papa Bandio, the angels, they're doing a lot of fancy footwork around us. We have Order of the Seraphim, which is the Knight of Wands. We have Order of the Cherubim, which is the Knight of Cups. They're doing some things for us. We don't know it, but there's some type of protection around us because of the Seven of Swords. Some things are being withheld from us because we just don't need to know. Maybe our heart's too precious, or maybe we would intervene if we knew. That's the thing about fortune telling. That's the thing about being an oracle. You know, those of us with the gift of sight, we have a duty and obligation. Again, Hierophant, a duty and a God duties and obligations versus just the emperor regular duties and obligations, maybe to a family or a workforce. But with the Hierophant, these are God duties and obligations. We have a duty and an obligation. Yes, we're mandatory reporters to God, but also um, there's a danger when we have the sight and we know about the future, unless we've been assigned Three of Pentacles, which is I don't see it here, the Three of Pentacles. We're not done with this reading, but the Four of Pentacles is here, so there can be a case somewhere. The Four of Swords, something's being judged and ruled, it's being lorded over, presided over. Four of Swords with the Hierophant. So we have a duty to not share destiny until we're called to speak. It's called High Priestess Illumination. We can't transmit or read somebody into the file because to tell a person about their destiny before it's time, they may stop acting and start anticipating that destiny to play out, meaning they'll stop putting out the energy into the world environment surrounding location that would later on manifest that reality, or they may act too greatly to prevent or to quicken that destiny that we shared with them. So that's part of what the Seven of Swords, that's part of why things are being withheld from us. Number one, because they don't want us to know the danger. And who is this they? The angels mainly, but also a little bit with the Six of Pentacles. It's a little bit of our forebearers, whoever came before us. I don't know if it's male or female. I'm getting mostly mommy. I'm getting mostly mommy. Okay, so it's Chambasi. You know, the Oya spirit, I won't say anymore, but some of us have her in our bloodline, or she might be the patroness of our family line. You know, Storm from the X-Men, we're related to her, most of us. She's a great big justice deity, okay? And that is also some of the work that we're going to come into in the future. We don't know this yet, but we were given spiritual powers from our bloodline. And it's not time for us to fully walk in that path and that journey. It's just that, so this is the second house. What we possess is the power to call judgment on specific souls for whatever reason. Doesn't matter. It won't be discussed today. Okay. So this deity is doing a lot. Okay. I'm just going to say that because we were born with a role. We have some kind of throne. It's called Tobe, like a stool, an ancestral seat. And it's us. We're the ones who's supposed to sit there. And they're doing a lot to prepare us to get us down that road. But this grace that we've received is right now it's acting as favor. So protection from harm, not really the gift of abundance, not really the gift of insight, meaning oracle gifts. But we do have some type of charism, meaning spiritual gift in and of itself, that's typically and generally unidentified at this most particular, precise, present moment in time. It acts as Six of Pentacles favor, meaning we'll receive protection, meaning we'll receive exaltation, elevation, but we won't actually receive monetary or spiritual remuneration other than protection. At this most, again, I say particular, present, and precise moment in time, okay? There's a reason we don't know. Somebody, again, may have their moon in the second house or in the sign of Taurus. The Six of Pentacles in the Hierophant. There's a judgment going on, and right now it's deliberation. They're not calling the All-Father. They're not calling God themselves. We call that the divine. They want the law of karma itself to preside over this for some time because it keeps things in what we call the flow. So it's letting mechanisms of the universe, we'd call that a law, but there's two sets of laws. On Earth, we're under what's called the law of humanity. We call it peace and security, but it's law and order, the justice system. But there's also something called universal law. We know that as karma. So they're letting karma preside over this right now because it checks off a lot of boxes. Sometimes when you call Papa Bandiu, sometimes when you call, a sovereign of the universe, they skip a lot. Not every box gets checked. They might just go straight to punishment or straight to, intervention. Does that make sense? When you call karma, sometimes you don't get a result right away, but when the result does come, ooh, something was cooking behind the scenes. And what's cooking behind the scenes is we have the 7 and the 10 of swords. So somebody did trespass against us. And this will be rectified. 10 of swords. The punishment has already been decided. Now, I do want to say to a very small degree, there was something that we did as well. But I'm being told is we're a little bit too nice. And when we were doing something silly, something stupid, we didn't know any better. So there's two things here. Yes, we did something. When the time when we were doing something wrong, we didn't know any better. So we get a little bit of grace because of innocence. Okay, basically that we just get chastised in those circumstances. We get admonished slightly as a form of education, not as a form of punishment. And the other one was what we were doing when the other time that we were doing something is because we were too nice. It was a failure to kind of like defend our honor or defend our gift or defend our, spiritual rank. We didn't defend our station of duty in the eyes of the Lord because we were wanting to hold space for some energy, entity, ideology, some kind of person, place, or thing for them to wake up, for them to heal, for them to kind of get with the program. And that's just the thing. Whatever we place before God or the goddess or Yah, basically, we will lose. Some of us call her, Chamba. It's a version of Pamba Chamba, mostly Teheria and Dankon. So, what I'm sensing here is that we're being remarried to spirit because too many energies, entities, ideologies, too many beings have gotten in the way of our duty to the divine. And a lot of people, places, and things were standing in the way for us being who we really, truly were supposed to be. And I'm going to follow it just a little bit more. Some things were impacting, camera is off, pardon me. Some things were impacting our ability to receive our spiritual inheritance because all I'm seeing is celestial endowment. And remember, I was seeing, 555, 666, 777, 999. Now we're at 444. It's the quadruple 4444, 9999, 7777, 5555, 6666. So for some reason, we've had a digression. We've gone to 4444. So before we can spring forward, we've got to be pulled back just a little bit. Similar to the metaphor of the arrow, if that makes sense. So the arrow is, in order to fly forward, we've got to be pulled back just a little bit. That's also another metaphor for spiritual ascension. When you go to a higher vibration, you stay there only for a quick second and you gain all this kind of frequency energy vibration. Then you fall back to an old vibration so you can anchor, incorporate those DNA and galactic activation codes. Because then when we do increase our vibration again, we can sustain that level. So here's an example. Have you gotten sick just recently? Have a lot of things been purged from life. Several friends, and then the next day maybe a job or something fell through, like some kind of opportunity, maybe even like a romantic one. And all of a sudden, over the next week, we lost interest in certain things, maybe TV in general or TV shows. Maybe we didn't like certain types of food, or maybe we didn't want to eat for a couple days. Our diet is more than just what we eat. It could be the people we hang around, the books that we read, the television that we watch, the places that we frequent and go to. Sometimes we'll switch things like our normal grocery store, or we'll change our route to work. We might even change the work itself. We might not even just switch jobs. We might switch the type of work we do. Sometimes that we work for somebody else, we start our own business. Sometimes all of a sudden the work that we do is from home, or we were working at home and now we're back in the office. Or maybe we had a nighttime schedule, we go to a daytime schedule. Sometimes we even just switch the school that our children are going to, or their after school activities. I'm asking, have there been changes? Because that might also be a sign of like another anchoring in of a newer frequency energy vibration. It's up to you, take it as a resonance, my dear. But that's what I'm getting. Just a quick recap before we conclude the meeting, or before we go to the final part of the meeting. I want to tell you that we're going through a reunion of our union with divine grace. And this is because we are destined to be a celestial judge for the divine. And it is according to one deity. We can call her Sati Devi, we can call her Oya, we can call her Mama Chamba. It don't matter, don't care. Basically, Storm from X-Men as if she were a deity, as if she were deified, okay? So she's a fierce one. She's not one of those goddesses that are very kind with mistakes or F ups or whatever, especially when you know better. The moment you know better, it's instant karma from then on out. And it's a better way to be, but with great sacrifice comes great benefits. And we'll gain and have and experience the things others won't gain, experience, and have because we're willing to do the things that others won't do. Mainly live right, mainly live righteously, mainly live on the up and up, mainly live cleanly, mainly be contrite, erudite, forthcoming. Um, you know, candor, living with candor. Let's just say this. We need to adopt candor into our daily repetitive routines. Our practice from here on out. I would add that to next steps. Firstly, start with candor in all of your affairs, my dear. I would strongly and thoroughly advise you to heed my warning, my dear child. Conduct all of your affairs from this moment on out with great candor and great reverence for the truth. And understand, my dear, it is easier to tell the truth and let people fall where they may. And listen, whatever you lose by telling and speaking the truth, whatever you lose by being your authentic and true self, you weren't losing. It was filtering itself out. You're basically releasing dead weight. And it's easier said than done, and it's much more difficult in the beginning of adopting this practice. But I look at it this way, look at it backwards. What would you allow that cost you your peace? And I want to ask you even another question. What would you allow that would cost you your ever living peace? So, not just your peace tonight when you go to sleep, tossing and turning through the night, but I'm talking about eternal peace. The answer is anything cost you your peace is too expensive. You know, growing up in business, they called it the eat sleep rule. If it's going to affect you putting food on the table for you and your children, you can't afford it. If it's going to cost you tossing and turning all night because it disturbs your sleep, you can't afford it. I also want to ask you if it's going to cost you your spiritual rank. Maybe when we complete this assignment in this life and we go back to judgment before the divine throne and we have to tell the Lord why we squandered our gifts or why we wasted an opportunity upon the earth or why we decided to fail our mission willfully, that might not be the equation that we want. Do you understand what I'm saying? So think of it that way. If we're sitting here thinking, oh yes, but, oh yes, but, oh yes, but, I know that we love the souls we're assigned to. I understand that the people, places, and things in our life, the environment surrounding locations that we frequent, we've grown accustomed to and we're comfortable. But the universe does not care about our comfort, they care about our progress. I need to say it this way, my dear, because we're being seen as an initiate right now, formerly a novice. And so they're going to expect us to level up just a little bit, ever so slightly. And the time for ignorance is over. We won't get a simple chastising anymore. We will get a strong admonishment from here on out. Further infractions will come with a greater sanction, is what I'm trying to say. Do you hear what I'm saying? Okay. So we have the Six of Pentacles with this Hierophant. Normally that means Moon in the second house or in the sign of Taurus. I want to see what also it's referring to. Yeah, so something is coming because we've renewed our vows to the divine, as I was saying. And there, like I said, there was some things that were withheld from us because Baba didn't want, or Adi Baba, the Lord God, Papa Bani Diyu, he didn't want us to know all the nasty McNasty that was going on around. You know, I'm feeling my heart. I want to cry. There was some real genuine cruelty towards us that we were just unaware of. You know, people see the light in us, they see the calling on our life, and they get nasty McNasty. They get rooty tooty. They do some diabolical things. And so these things were withheld from us. We weren't allowed or permitted to know everything because we would have been sitting there in our feelings, sitting there in our thoughts, instead of just moving towards the divine. And some people will come with us, but we can't take everybody with us where we're going. And where are we going, my dear? Ingading, la Ingarding, Paradiso, the promised land, the Garden of Eden, the secret garden. That's where we're going. So we're going to understand this Four of Swords with the Justice card, La Justicia. Yeah, so there is some type of adjudication going, and it's an arraignment. No, it's an adjudication. There's some case pending in the court system because it's the divine court system. It's under karma. Karma is the judge. It's not upon the earth in the human court. We call that, law and order or peace and security, which is the justice system. There's something going on though. Basically, karma is about to put something to bed because there's been some discovery. And ultimately, we're seen as a sweetheart, gran consignore, signore here. And something's coming back around, which is peace and joy and freedom and abundance and effervescent flow of the divine. However, we were let low for a moment of not hardship and destitution, but some of the sweetness was removed so that we could have a rude awakening, or some harshness was allowed to touch us so that our eyes would remain open and we wouldn't get too comfortable. Message from the other side. So, yes, and also, this was a sign of approval from the divine, even though we weren't really doing what we were supposed to be doing. We had genuine love and a gracious heart, and that was really the biggest and only test that we needed at that time. And remember, darling, sometimes tests are examinations, which is like a pass fail, and other times tests are a assessment, which just means we get a grading upon where on the spectrum or the scale that we are. So whatever test I'm referring to, it doesn't matter. There was some disperata per gelosia. There need to be a quickening, a purging to the surface, for people to choose, which side they were on. Think of it as an acid wash. Okay, here. So, oh, gee. So this fell face first. I mean, down to the ground. So that's the other side. So melancholia, yeah, I'm gonna say some things here. Some people were expecting us to keep on keeping on, to hold them where they were, to basically co-sign their BS, their lack of quickening, their lack of awakening, their lack of healing. They wanted us to let them continue to bypass, to override, to dismiss our boundaries. And there didn't necessarily need to be friction between us, but it was contrivial. It was contrived. There was something false, phony, fictitious, fake, Seven of Swords here. These people really weren't walking out on faith. That's not what was going on. And to be honest, they wanted us to keep giving to their hopes and dreams. They were going to ride our coattails. So these people wanted to stay in place and do no work until we were going to allow them to, enter the promised land with us. And that's not the story. Everybody has to earn a spot where we're going. And the biggest thing you need to do is to live in Christ, which just means have love in your heart, a smile on your face, joy in your spirit. And it's not what everybody else was doing. Some people have judgment, you know. Um, La machiche, sometimes they don't say what's alive in them. Sometimes they don't openly out loud share the principles of love and unity. Sometimes they give favor to those who are perceived as elite or who can do things for them. And it's some type of ego, la superbia. They're trespassing in some way, and we don't have to know what it is. It's not our job. That's not the department that we work in for the divine. We are assigned to other souls, those who just need a way out of the dark, and they're actively looking for it. Those who are budding, who are just starting their awakening journey, their healing journey. And that's, yeah, so, those who are like, um, knucking and bucking and popping off at the mouth and, you know, flossing. Those who are flossing, we don't need to pay attention to them. Maybe somebody will come get them, but they're not our case. So I really got to know what this Seven of Swords with the full card is because it's saying there's a trespass here. Yeah, so it's in our favor, I must tell you, but okay, again, because we're just being dutiful. And I hate to say this, excuse me so much, but what I'm being told is that the divine had to intervene because we were just going to let these people walk all over us. I don't know what that means, and I know that's not a blanket statement to all of us. Some of us are cutthroat, Queen of Swords. You don't play us. You can't. Um, but when we're new in the journey, we do kind of have that bleeding heart kind of deal, and we might have been co-signing somebody's BS, I feel. And there were a lot of people, collectives of people, that needed that to continue to stay the case so that they would get it under the radar. Okay, this is just too much for me. Um, they needed us to. Now, I did want to also say the thing that really got them twisted, that got them effed up, messed up, was that they thought they took our loving heart as a sign for stupidity, and that wasn't actually the case. The actual case was that we were praying for them and we were giving them a piece of our good heart. And they took that as weakness or something that could be exploited. And that's what got them tripped up. We were being exploited in some kind of way. Yeah. We our love and kindness was being exploited in some kind of way. And they took this not just as a mark, but as some type of supply. Okay, so I apologize for saying such a thing, but that's what it was. We're taking this for a fool. So this sentence, this judgment that's coming down the pike at them, something that's at the heart of the matter. I think everybody wants to get into La Ingading, Paradiso. Here we're finding that there's going to be a rude awakening, and not just that, it's going to rock them to their very core. It may even touch them in their next lifetime. Yeah, because um, the question is, did they take care of the precious blessings they were bestowed upon them? And we were considered a blessing. So if they had done the work to preserve a relationship with us, they would have fallen into line for the rapture. If they did what they needed to do to preserve a relationship with us, by default, it would have been all the things they needed to do to be included in the rapture. Take my people home is what I'm hearing. So I'm gonna leave that right there. So what is this set of fours? Oh, and Vertex of Abundance is the galactic temple of ascension, delivering sacred messages from behind the veil. Why don't you go ahead and smash that like button? Today we will be deliberating the findings for any type of correlative or corresponding energy from the daily oracle by Veda Sibila, and that's over at Los Carabello. We will be deliberating the findings for any type of pairing by Cosmic Coven Tarot, and that's by Lillian Lazenby. We'll be using the minor arcana of the Cosmic Coven Tarot by Lillian Lazenby, and she's over at Ripe Avocado. We do have a little tiny bit of love, but it's Sacred Union with the Divine, so we'll be using Pop of Love Oracle by Vibe About It Tarot. She's over at Etsy. And then we will be imposing the guidance, the basis of the reading here, by This Might Hurt Tarot. This is by Isabella Rotman, and she's over at Liminal 11 Publishing for this deck. So what is this pair? I mean, no, it's a set. What is this set of fours? Let's see what that is. Ooh, message from the other side. Yeah, movement. We're gonna have a lot of returners. And I'll be honest, these are people that have to come back another life. They're cursed or even some of them damned. That's a bad word. The only bad word is the D and the C word. So some of these people are at the edge of the precipice of damnation, um, because they have some kind of ego, la superbia, peacocking, flossing. Look at me, I'm bigger, I'm broader, I'm better. Look at me, I need some kind of affection, adoration, appreciation, acknowledgement. And really, we've secured our spot in the divine already, and that's just that on that. What's this pair of pens, please? We have the Ten of Cups and the Ten of Swords. So that's eternal damnation or the eternal paradise. Again, the Knight of Wands came back again. Yeah, see, some of the people don't realize that what they have coming to them is some type of separation from us. Not everybody's getting into the Garden of Eden, Ten of Cups, and that's not what they had in mind. The Page of Swords, they had some kind of unrefined plan or strategy that they were employing. I don't know what this is about because I was looking at the Seven of Swords and the Five of Swords here. Okay, so that's some type of deception. Open enemies and hidden enemies. They're going to have regret and remorse later on, some type of grief, even mourning, sadness, because they had a blessing in their hand, and they again the things that they needed to do were they got to deal with the disappointment of losing us, number one, because they should have did what they needed to do to maintain the relationship with us, and by doing that thing they would have been included in the rapture. So we have a pair of queens here. Okay, we're gonna do this pair of knights. What is this pair of knights? Okay, so something about securing a position. Yeah, acting with love for whatever reason, because um, Four of Pentacles with the Knight of Cups, that's acting with love to secure a position. Four of Pentacles, Four of Wands, again, like I said, that's it literally is securing a relationship, maybe even divine union with us. We are from the same soul group, but they're gonna be reassigned to, excuse me, they're calling that they're gonna be given a pod in purgatory to work that out. They're gonna be sent to the remedial class. That's what purgatory is, and many people don't know this. Okay, I'm gonna leave that there. So we have a triple eight or a pair of eights. We have a pair of eights here. What is it? Yeah, okay, so this is some kind of choice. They should have learned because of spending. Yeah, but they were feeling entrenched, Four of Swords with the Page of Swords. They were feeling either concussed or traumatized or entrenched. They really, meaning they put their foot down and decided to stay where they were because they thought they had already secured a relationship with us, but they weren't working on it authentically. That was some type of strategy. They were being strategic with us and we were being loving with them, and they chose it. It wasn't by accident. Was this pair of queens? Show me love, baby. Show me everything you got. It show me love. Show me love, yeah. Show me light. Baby, show me what it's all about. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna leave that right there. Um, with the Seven of Pentacles, there was some kind of agenda, but also seeds should have been planted. You reap what you sow. So they should have sown something, invested some kind of energy, entity, ideology, time, energy, effort, attention. And they should have came forward authentically because we really were giving them sanctuary. Being under our own covering of prayer and love and light was saving them spiritually from the reckoning. So let's move on because we've spent enough time there. You're the one that I ever needed. Show me. Oh, we got to do one more. The next reading is nasty. So I want to do it for the Ten of Cups with the Four of Wands. That's divine union. Yep. Infatuation. So they didn't treasure us, they coveted us. And again, they had what they needed. They really did. Destiny. Okay, so whatever happens is what's supposed to happen because it's a yes, absolutely, and fulfilled. They don't realize that they had what they needed, but some third party in their life was popping off at the mouth. With here, Odie's opinions, it means that they were given to some kind of false narrative, or there was somebody unsympathetic or unrelatable around them that was saying the wrong things, planting the wrong things in their mind, basically gave birth to unpleasant opinions or the wrong kind of chatter. So they got tripped up out of their spot. But I didn't see any type of triangulation or yeah. So I'll be honest. I'm just gonna say it point blank. Whatever happened is what was supposed to happen. They did what they did, so they get what they get, and that's true with the Justice card karma out. That's always the case. Now this next reading is going to be kind of gnarly. Ten of Swords with the Devil card is eternal damnation. Seven of Swords, we're in a protected position here. Queen of Cups is because we're chosen, favored, blessed, anointed. We have the Knight of Pentacles here now. So, yep. Whatever happens is exactly what's supposed to happen. You did, you did, you did what you did. So you get, you get what you get. With a pair of fives here, that means a depletion of some kind, a loss. Something might be degraded, debilitated in a declining way. There might need to be some loss, some forced change. And that's the truth because there's spiritual inheritance is about to be divvied up and handled out, and these people can't be around. We have to clear the space before that happens. Now we also have a pair of sevens here. So there's an alert, there's a warning. Defend our position because we were being manipulated in some kind of way, form or another. We were being held in tribute for this other side to exploit in some kind of way. I'm so sorry. It's a collective energy, so it's all of us, divine children, chosen children, are going through it. Whatever's coming next is going to be divine rapture. We're going to get lots of grace and spiritual blessings from the divine. But right now, we need to purge, energy that's disconcording, especially demonic, devilish in its nature. All these fives around the devil, that's a bad sign. It means that there's energy around us that shouldn't be there. And I can see why there was some kind of deliberation around us. There was some type of celestial court system, and karma was presiding over, lording over, speaking over our life. There was divine intervention because we weren't going to be blessed if this energy was around us. So there's going to be some forced changes from the ancestral realm. We have three queens here, so there definitely was some competition. We also have another knight that came out, so we still have a pair of knights. Hey, I'm back. I took a quick break to blow my nose, and what happened was that I went and got coffee and things like that. And then I came back and I was just sitting here connecting back to the energy. And I accidentally started shuffling. And it's gonna tell us about the triple queen. So let's just jump right back in. But we have the card. Okay. So Six of Pentacles. Serenati talks about receiving favor. And it can't be, with the triple queen, that's like competition and this and that. So it brings in a little bit of shadow energy. So if there's shadow energy with this Six of Pentacles, which there is a little bit, that can talk about envy, jealousy, or breadcrumbing. because somebody either wants to be chosen, wants to, but also information is coming in for us to take some kind of action. There's supposed to be connections. Who do we feel connected? Because some people are cruel and calculating, and we don't know it. What we don't realize is that some people have been waiting for the moment to strike us down. They want to see when we'll be most vulnerable or what will make us vulnerable so that they can strike us down. What we don't realize and recognize is that there are people around us that don't really love us like we think they do. Devil with the Queen of Cups. Unless that is some type of Aries rising energy, these people really don't love us. Unless these are Cancer rising or Aries rising, they don't really love us. Um, they just seem like they do. They're fake, phony, fictitious, and they're lying in wait. That's what we need to understand. Because the Lord, I'm going to say it like this, Papa Bandio, Adi Baba, wants us safe. Because we're not just already anointed, we're going to receive greater anointing. And what's happening right now is a big, gigante. I'm hearing that word, gigante. Yeah, elixario. There's an acid wash going everywhere. Everybody's gonna get like exposed. Gran la superbia. So it's a great amount of flossing, fake, phony. Not a lot of people are real, but to our precious little hearts, these people do seem real. Capisce? Like, capisce, you understand? So what's happening is we're being held back, and it sucks because we're losing love, we're losing money. That's how it's coming up. Now, it may be manifesting different for us. We may be rolling on the dough. We may have people all around us, but there's something getting starved off on purpose and because of interference. A couple few months ago, there was a strategy to block our abundance and to block our love so that we would be thirsty and desperate and take whatever little scraps. That's no longer working. So if our love and money is still getting blocked, it's because something is God is trying to starve something already lying in wait. How do you kill a cancer? You starve it. Same way you kill a narcissist too, by the way. But narcissist, cancer, same difference. I'm gonna leave it right there. So I want to know what this pair of sevens is about. Yeah, we're in a union with something that's not really the best. Something here thinks it's leading us to the slaughter. And it wants us to believe it's our own ideas. There's been a long con here. I'm just going to say it like that. Yep, we're being led to slaughter here. But it's all turning back around. It's not really a backfire, but it's a turning of the tables. Yeah, something they don't know that they've been giving us the little things that we need to level up, but it's going to be a retroactive awakening, meaning they've been planting seeds all along that we didn't notice. And then suddenly, before we get to this kill zone or this choke point or whatever, we're going to have like a spontaneous and sudden awakening. What's this pair of fives? When we already looked, what's this pair of ninths? Yeah, King of Cups. So yeah, so King of Cups in reverse is like seducing. It's a Lothario, but like not anything good. They're dark, they're addicted, they're seedy, they're perverse. They have these things about their character that are way, way off. I'm just talking about taboo. I'm talking about places where evil can hide. And so sorry to say, we're some type of flame that's attracting this. There's something about us that everybody can see, but we can't see it. There was a correlation I didn't check here. It's this page of pentacles with the Hierophant card. But we're also going to receive some more spiritual authority. We have some kind of spiritual rank. They've always known it, but we haven't. Yeah, so we're just now figuring out Bambino, but they've known all along, um, Il Nemico, and that they've been working towards using it to their advantage. And we're going to discover that right a moment before it's too late. So it's been an honor and a pleasure to serve. Thank you for allowing the privilege to do so. Again, if anything that was said resonates deeply with you, comment, share, subscribe, leave a review for concession, send a donation. All we have to do, so in terms of next steps, is ensure that once we know, we pay attention. Ensure that we're going with our intuition. Ensure that we retain something for ourselves. I'm not saying hold everything back, but I'm also saying don't give everything out. You know, less is more. Keep a few mysteries about the life. And when we see people taking losses, especially ones that come in out of the blue, out of nowhere, like in the blink of an eye or overnight, their life is falling apart, that is a big sign that there's something, yeah, overnight, all of a sudden, their life is falling apart. That is a sign that they were trespassing against us. Well, it's like a sweeping movement. It's like a trigger got pulled or something and their life blew up. Because we might think like, oh, why would that happen or whatever, but it's literally a sign to us that um, we can take a step back. Um, that the divine wanted us to see the tower fall on them. I hate to say it like this, but those are the next steps. The next steps are to heed warnings. So there'll be little warnings all the time. Their life will suddenly, out of nowhere, fall apart. We'll also discover things about them, about their character, and our job is not to excuse or to be like, they never treated me that way, so it's okay. If a person is rude towards other people, if a person is rude towards God, we need to take space from them. Also, if there's any type of overriding or bypassing or dismissal of our boundaries, that's another sign. You can tell a lot by a person when you put a boundary. You can tell a lot by a person when you decide to take a little bit of space. Hey, I don't want to talk to you for a week. I'm going to be busy doing this. Or, hey, I'm going to, go do this thing without you because I need a little time to myself, or I don't really care for your opinion right now. Whatever, however it manifests in your particular life. When a person wants us to walk something back, especially a boundary, or when they have an opposing mind and they're pointed or pressured or prickly in their speech about it, and they're just like, I don't really like that answer. I don't really feel great about that, but if that's what you want to do, I support you. If that's not their kind of response, then we know, okay? I just have to repeat this. There's going to be a lot of reversals of fortune on other people's side. Because what we don't recognize, what we don't see is that we're hosting space for demons. And it's not something that's going to be actual, factual, logical, linear, rational thinking. We're going to be thinking, yes, but, yes, but, yes, but. We're going to have all the reasons why the statements that I'm saying are not true. But I love this person. They've been my friend for 5, 10 years. They helped me like this. They did this for me. They did that for me. Uh, it's really about the purity of their heart. And I'm telling you, my dear, it's not there. And the angels are going to show it to us, and the Lord is going to show it to us. But we have to be listening. And some of this is going to be by getting time alone in order to gain perspective. We will be sequestered. We will be isolated. Sometimes people will leave us out. Sometimes they'll do this backhanded, sideways. Does that make sense? We need to let it. We need to leave them. It's not for us to fix too much, and especially it's not for us to run towards some person else and try to give them an understanding and explanation. If they took it upon themselves to believe the truth, to disbelieve the truth, or to misunderstand the truth, when a person forms a negative opinion, and they don't come to us for clarity, context, where they don't come to us with curiosity, investigation, examination, whatever they decided to believe or whatever truth they think they heard went along with the narrative that they were already operating under. A real friend does not misbelieve us that easily. The best of people will believe the best in you. And those who don't, those who choose to mislabel, misjudge, misperceive, whether mistakenly or by accident, it's hard to understand, but it is a sign from the divine that some shift has happened in the relationship. And when we're moved away from people, we need to let that happen. If people want to stay in our life, we'll gotta let them. If they want to leave our life, we've got to let them. We do get to choose when they come back. And the thing about it is, the Lord needs to show us that it's not these people. Okay. So it's been an honor and a pleasure and a privilege to serve. Just a quick prayer for all those still lost out there. To illusion, confusion, delusion, lost in the seas of time, trapped somewhere in the matrix, yet to heal, yet to awaken, yet to return to the resplendent grace of the divine, unconditional love, and universal oneness. Anapana, we love you, Messiah. Please forgive us. Thank you. We pray that your steps are ordered, your path illuminated, and that you find salvation of redemption in this lifetime. May you be happy, may you be well, may you be whole, may you be at peace, may you receive everything you ever wanted, starting with what you deserve. Until we meet again, until we read again. Namaste, Dandava, and Ashe. Sayonara, das vidanya, Take good care. Bye-bye.